Dubai has a vibrant and ever-changing food and beverage industry. There's estimated 8 or 9,000 F&B outlets in Dubai. Sometimes it's hard to stay on top of what's opening and what's closing. We're spoiled for choice here with almost every cuisine in the world represented and plenty of cool new places to try out all the time. It's no doubt a difficult business to start off in. My name is Richard Fitzgerald. I'm the founder of Augustus Media, publishers of Lovin Dubai, Lovin Saudi and Smashy TV. Each week we'll be interviewing the dynamic business leaders of Dubai. This week we sat down with Shaima Nawaf Fawaz, founder of Gossip, the brand. Originally 4 years ago it started out as Gossip Cafe. Shaima is an Emirati lady who also worked with Mubashir and has a PhD in genetics. Really impressive business story, and Gossip has expanded to the UK market in 2018, but it's also expanded within the UAE to cover the health industry, Gossip Fix, the beauty industry with Gossip Glow, and another type of food brand called Gossip Street recently opened at Lamar. It's a fascinating conversation with Shaima, and really impressive to see how an Emirati brand has challenged the franchises and international brands within the UAE, and then also bucked the trend to expand globally. We're here with Shaima Nawaf Fawaz, the CEO and founder of Gossip, the brand. Hi Shaima, nice to have you here.
Hi, how are you?
Very good, thank you. It's a pleasure to talk to you. You're a founder of Gossip. Tell us a bit about the brand and how everything about it basically.
So now Gossip the brand has different arms, and one of our arms is the F&B arm. And under our food and beverage arm, we have Gossip the Cafe, which now is in UAE. We have 2 locations in Dubai, one in Abu Dhabi, one in Sharjah. We founded another brand called Milkshakes by Gossip, which is a milkshake specialty brand that took milkshakes and expanded it. We have one in London in Covent Garden and one in Dubai Mall. We also have Street by Gossip, which is a cool street food brand in Lamar. That's very fun, very young, very hip. And the latest brand we launched was Fix in the F&B, that is more involved in specialty coffees and cold press healthy superfood boosts and juices.
Amazing.
To keep you going for the day. We diverted into the beauty industry where we launched something called Glow by Gossip, which is a beauty concierge that comes home, sells you products, and also takes care of all your beauty routine. So we're really good at something called a 360. So within 1 hour, we'll get your hair, makeup, and nails done, and you're on the go.
Really?
It's more for busy people.
Yeah, amazing. So there's so much to divulge into there in terms of business and branding. Gossip we knew originally on Lovin Dubai because of your tasty cakes and your treats and desserts and everything like that. How did that start? How did it go into cakes originally? Was it something you were passionate about? Were you in the food and beverage business?
Yeah, I mean, desserts was a hobby of mine. So I used to bake. I would go to every restaurant in the globe. I would do my research. I would pick what I love and where's my favorite recipes. I'd actually researched from college days what recipes I want, tested them, tried them, changed them. I'm a foodie anyway, so I go all around the world looking for the best drinks, the best foods and everything, and I could always find something missing. So I always wanted to have my own place where everything I loved existed with a bit of an emirati touch. There's a lot of cafes and food places that have the touch of the countries they come from. And I wanted Gossip to have an emirati flair, so when you go out or you go to Gossip somewhere in the world, you kind of feel like you're home.
Amazing. But it's a brand that's consumed by many in Dubai. It's a very successful kind of homegrown story. We always talk about successful stories here, but to expand into London and going global, like what was the kind of motivation and the plan behind that?
Well, when I was putting pen to paper the day I designed Gossip, my thought was always global.
Amazing.
So I never ever did a business or touch something that I didn't think I could. Could this concept work in New York? Could it work in London? Could it work in China? I wanted something that could be diverse with our culture infused in it. So it was 4 years at the cafe, and one of our most successful desserts in Gossip is our milkshakes. I get a lot of reviews. Like people will go to a lot of competitors, and people will still tell me no about Gossip.
So how do you make, what's a milk cake? What goes into it?
Yeah, because a lot of people ask, even in London, like people walk in and go, yeah, but what's a milk cake? So a milk cake is it's kind of like a sponge cake that's baked, and then when it's hot, it's soaked in flavored milk.
Is it something that is an
milk.
emirati delicacy, or is it just?
Actually, no. I believe it came from the Dolce de Luce cakes that comes from South America.
Yeah.
But it kind of got very, very popular within our region.
Okay.
So what we did is we identified 4 specific flavors: rose, original, pistachio, and saffron. I like to use flavors from our region, and then we kind of took them and we created different like toppings and different. It becomes like a sundae.
Yeah.
So you can have different. They're called designer milk cakes, and we did something else. We created something called a cake shake.
Yeah.
We can get a milkshake but with a cake in it. So we kind of developed that concept as like the first ever milk cake concept and launched that into London during the summer.
Summer 2018.
Yes, and amazing. That was, thank God, very, very successful.
Where in London is it?
In Covent Garden.
Oh, very popular.
So it's in the
place.
Piazza. Yeah, it's
amazing.
Sunday's a happening day to be in Covent.
Amazing. That's really cool. So it's 4 years in, and you started off with cakes, and you've went into all these different verticals, into the kind of healthy food, and now into beauty as well. How does the brand keep growing? How does how are you scaling? How are you managing all these different things?
So it kind of goes organically to me. It always comes from a need. I'd never start a brand that I didn't feel there's a need in the market for. And I will recommend anyone in business to start something just because someone's doing something. Entrepreneurs in general find something that's irritating them, that they can't find the solution for, and create that solution within a business model, because you don't want to be the only person using it. So for example, when I did gossip, I was so irritated with the quality of desserts in the market. I was not happy with the cafes that there's a place you can sit, go online, have good, decent food. You could be healthy. I'm not. Can we still sit on the same table? I would always face these issues with my friends.
Yeah.
And I wanted gossip, and our slogan is share a sweet life. And by meaning that is you can all come together, sit, chill. I can have a coffee, you can order food, I can get a beautiful gluten-free, dairy-free salad, you can get a nice gourmet burger, and we can come together, have a good time, and then go home. And I wanted it to have the stuff that us Emiratis also enjoy. You want an Arabic coffee, you want something that's different. It's all available there. Okay. So that was the concept behind gossip. And as things grew and items became successful or market needs changed, I would divert into other businesses. So street came from the need that I found that a lot of the youth couldn't find a place other than a cafe or probably shisha place to hang out. So if you want something that's loungy, with street food, Asian food specifically, Japanese is becoming very trendy. There's no place for them within their price range. It's really cool. So we did street on the beach for that demographic.
Okay. Is it a food truck on the beach, or is it a...
Yeah, it's an actual outlet on La Mer, on the beach, which is really, really nice. So you get to have, our different bao buns. Again, any concept we do, we infuse some of our Emirati flavors in. Okay. And it's designed for our demographic. So it's very hip. And we have something called the Street Surprise.
Okay.
And that's... like literally every night we have 2 to 3 birthdays for a street surprise. So kind of they
come in and they don't know what's going to expect.
You just come and they put a wax paper on the table and all your desserts get thrown on top of everything.
Such a cool concept.
It's like dry ice and smoke and fire and cookies, and like kids can't believe what's going on.
Yeah.
Adults can't believe what's going on. Forget the kids. So it's a really fun experience. So that's, I think, the one thing that no one really does in Dubai is a street surprise.
Yeah.
So if you haven't tried it, I'd recommend you go to it.
Amazing. I think I'm going to. So Shaima, listening, talking to you now, it seems that you're so many ideas coming out all the time, and I can see, how you've got the entrepreneurial spirit and lots of different concepts. Where does that come from? It's kind of unusual maybe for an Emirati lady to have this big kind of brand, and was it expected? This is what you were doing when you were studying, and etc. And where does all this come from?
I think since I was young, I knew I wanted to be in the business field.
Okay.
And one of the things that used to really get to me as younger, because a lot of my friends and all the families are big business people, and they'd always get brands from the US, from the UK, from internationally. And I would just sit there and say, guys, why are you doing this? Why can't you create your own?
Yeah.
And I just, it mind boggled me. And I knew it was an easy way to franchise brands outside. And I wanted to be a company that our brands become franchised globally.
Okay.
Like, why should Starbucks come here? Why should
Amazing.
McDonald's come here? Why can't we have an emirati brand that goes internationally? And I'm sure there's a lot in different industries. The cool thing about an F&B industry is everyone gets to share your journey.
Yeah.
Like, you won't believe how many people can come up to you and talk to you and tell you, I had this, I like that, I didn't like this. Anyone, it doesn't matter what position they're in.
Instant feedback and
you're kind of part of it.
Yeah, and that seems to be part of the phrase, the kind of slogan that you have, share a sweet life, and that fits into community, be it F&B or beauty or lifestyle and everything like that.
Yeah, and what I love about Gossip, it's a place for everybody. Like, it's not about it's about you coming with your friends and feeling your home, and they should do what you want, and you should get good customer service. And I believe in clean eating. There's no reason to eat outside and get a drink that's filled with sugar, or like, I never understood the concept of eating outside, that people aren't conscious. The owners of these cafes, to make sure that if I'm ordering a salad, it's a salad. It's not a cheated salad dressing with everything that in the end I'm like, I should have had a burger. I like all of Gossip's concept. I truly believe in a clean eating. Clean eating doesn't really mean diet food. It just means be honest, clean in what you put on a plate in front of someone. If I want a dessert, I'm getting a cake, and it's going to be the best cake I want. But if I'm getting a salad, it better be a healthy salad.
Okay, amazing.
So I'm very conscious of these
so
things.
the Gossip Glow, our Gossip Fix, the more healthy food concept, is that on the vegan trend? Is it on the paleo trend? Or is it just, what sort of kind of healthy food are you targeting?
So I have a PhD in genetics, and when I look at the health trends, it keeps changing.
Okay.
Like, every time something is trending, now it's gluten-free. Then it's, it came to the soya milk. Then it's now almond milk. Now it's oat milk. Now rice. So the trends keep changing. And I just wanted a place that kind of gives people different options. So we do have some paleo options. We definitely have gluten-free, dairy-free options. But also some people that aren't gluten-free would like to have, complex carbohydrates like wheats and things that are good for your body. So with Fix, it's more of our specialty coffees. And then we created a range of drinks that are 100% gluten-free, dairy-free, healthy, fresh. We did something called the Power Fix, which is a coffee that has every superfood you could imagine. There's no added sugars in any of our drinks. They're naturally sweetened by the fruits or the stuff in them. You have Makta, Luke Marici. It's like the Power Fix is a pre-life. We call it pre-life, pre-workout, pre-anything drink.
Amazing.
Don't get a Red Bull, pick up a Power Fix.
Brilliant.
You get what you need, you get your energy, and you're on your way, and you get all the added benefits of antibacterial, antiviral, boost your immune system, all at the same time. Just health, to me, doesn't have to taste bad. And I think it should be easy, and the consumer now wants something. I mean, people are thinking before they buy something. It's no longer just put it in my mouth. It's like, I want something that's also good for me. And that's how we design Fix.
Amazing. I'm sure that concept will work in other markets as well. But you've got many of these brands and products in Dubai, and it's obviously a growing, vibrant city. Is that where your focus is, as well as kind of, some global ventures? But do you want to be a strong brand here for the people here, or what are your plans?
So all our brands are in Dubai. We have Sharjah and Abu Dhabi as well. The focus is to expand within a franchise model within the UAE for sure, and then to go globally. So London is one of our targets. Saudi Arabia is one of the markets I'm very interested in. The US. So we've started franchising, and what's really cool about franchising in UAE, our model is very different than a regular franchise. We manage our franchise. So when an investor comes, they put the cash and they don't need to get involved in anything. And I think a lot of franchises in UAE kind of have difficulties is because the hardest part in F&B is the operational part and the management. That's where it's difficult. And there's a lot of people that have the cash but don't want the headache. So I'm in a X position in government. I'm a business person. I'm not going to worry if, my store manager quit or the waiter didn't show up today or someone didn't come in. So in UAE, we've done a different model that's franchise with management where, you become an investor part of Gossip in your location, but we handle everything for you.
That's really interesting. And then you can retain that sort of culture and the DNA of the brand.
And the quality, which really is important to me.
So it's a little bit like maybe the hotel management franchise system.
Exactly.
Like
now,
that.
Internationally, there's different models we're looking at.
Okay.
But definitely in UAE, franchising is so easy. Like I get a lot of women that are interested and friends that want to do it. And I'm like, great, because you put the cash and we'll handle it for you. Okay. And it's a business, you know?
Yeah. Amazing. And you mentioned before we started recording that you worked with Mubadala and then in DIFC. What were you doing there, and how did that experience kind of shape the entrepreneurial role that you have now?
So when I came from the US, I worked in DIFC. I was their director of international investments, and I was asset managing Arts Dubai Fair. I was asset managing Villa Moda that was in fashion. We did a little real estate and some IT investments, and it kind of taught me how to be an owner of businesses and how to kind of report to a board. Yeah. And understand these different industries that I wasn't specialized in. Okay. When I moved to Mubadala and I was VP of healthcare, I actually did more operational roles within healthcare institutions, and we had joint ventures with different international healthcare companies. What was really cool about Mubadala, it also gave me an operational experience on top of the asset management experience. And when you're doing business, it's not the field or what type of business you're doing. It's more about how to run and manage companies. Yeah. So you can always get people specialized in a different specific sector, but the overall being able to run and make a company successful is the same model depending on, doesn't matter the industry. Like I remember when Steve Jobs hired the guy from Coke to run Apple. I mean, what does Coke have to do with technology? That's not usually the concern. The concern is structure. You know, the structures of companies are usually the same. Okay. Now it's up to the person that's running them to be innovative enough and to be able to, you know, extract the culture he wants in that company at the time. So I can understand that, you know, having different stakeholders and managing bigger projects in your previous roles, and then the ideas that you've spoken about for Gossip, how does that relate to sort of managing people? You know, is that a strength of yours as well, or do you have support on that? With the F&B industry, there's a lot of kind of, you know, people working in your cafes and different logistics and fulfillment and all that sort of stuff. Is that something that you have support with, or do you like that area as well? So our team is pretty large now. We're at 200 plus. Amazing. And what's very different is
200 people in 4 years. That's fantastic.
It's great. I wish my companies, one of my goals is to be one of the biggest employers. Okay. That's always a goal. So when I put the pillars of Gossip, when we started, there was 3 things I wanted. I wanted to be known for quality, and be a conscious company that cares about what people, if it's food, if it's services, we really care what we give you. Yeah. That's one of the most important things in Gossip is you have to give people quality for what they're paying for. Okay. 2 things, we wanted to be an employer of choice. Yeah. And what's important for me is, to be able to employ a lot of people, hopefully give them a good life, and the more people I have, to me is a measure of success. Okay, job creation and people employment is important. Yeah, we wanted to be an employer of choice, and there's some limitation to that, but one of our goals is to be a company you want to work with. I always believe in searching for talent and helping people grow within the company. Okay. I think most successful companies did well by picking people in and giving them. And whenever I interview someone or I talk to someone, I'm like, the sky's the limit in what you do with your job. Okay. If you want to just do this, like, for example, be a waiter, you can be a waiter. If you want to grow into something else, it's up to you. Okay. It's your initiative, it's what you put into it. And what's cool about Gossip, other than any other companies, you still have a chance to be an employee and be creative. Okay. Big conglomerates are set in their ways. Yeah. You can be heard. Like, this is a good idea. Why do you think we do that? And it can be implemented. Okay. So, Sham, I'm interested in in Dubai. We're all always excited and loving Dubai. All these great F&B outlets, but from a business side, it's very challenging. We're told there's 8,000 or 9,000 F&B outlets in Dubai. What was it like starting off, and how did you kind of get established? And I'm sure it wasn't all plain sailing. No, actually, when I was doing Gossip, I was actually scared, to be honest, because I didn't know, like, it's a homegrown brand. would people want something homegrown, or are they still interested in the franchise names that are coming from outside?
Okay.
And I remember when I opened, that's actually Instagram was the best thing that ever happened for me. And I like pictures, so I wasn't a Twitter person. I have to post a pic, and then you can read what's under it. You know, I love the books with pics. So we Instagrammed way before we opened, and our opening day was probably one of our best sales ever. I think most of my support came from local emirati people, and I'm so grateful for them, because when you do a project like this, you don't know. Always in retrospect, it's easy to say, oh, that location wasn't a good idea, or oh my God, we should have done this. But when you're doing it,
you're taking a risk.
It's always a risk. Like, you don't know. You think yes, but you never really know.
There's so many different parts to come together.
It's so many different things that happen, and there's always a part that's out of your hands. So always, I just say, when you look back, you can say, oh, that was a good idea, or it wasn't. But at the time, you're never sure.
So social media played a big role, and how is that emerging now? Are you doing sort of social media commerce? Are you using delivery apps? Like, how are people, other than going into the cafe, how are people reaching the Gossip brand?
Like, now, most of our things are online. So delivery, we have a lot of different apps for delivery for all our brands. Social media, the cool thing now with Instagram, you can sponsor ads to get the reach out to more people and more demographic. Everything is going digital. Everything's going online. Very rarely, I think, you'll get much effect from print for our industry, and word of mouth. It's really important to have word of mouth, and I mean, a lot of influencers help, but there's something called micro-influencers. It's people within the community. If they speak or they like you, people will come. It's that easy. That's the way it is. Not a lot of people like look at a billboard now and say, I'm going there. So digital is the way to go, and we're going digital, and I think that's the only way to go for any business now.
So people are coming across your cakes on Instagram, searching out where your locations are, and arriving in store or purchasing via the apps.
And pointing at pictures and saying that one.
Amazing.
That's the way it usually goes.
Amazing. Well, thanks so much for your time. It's been great to chat to you, and it's fascinating to see how the Gossip brand has grown, and we'll continue to follow it on Love in Dubai in the future.
Thank you. It's a pleasure.
Thank you very much. So that's it for another episode of Dubai Works Business Podcast. Follow these stories and more on loveindubai.com. Also on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn and Snapchat, and Love in Dubai. Have a good week, and we'll be back next week with another interview.